Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Sean, and today I am here to review the Netflix original series, anime original series, The Blood of Zeus. I'm telling you, every time they show that intro, it's like dun 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 boom, and like dun 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 boom, and then like the logo gets more clear and more clear, dun 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 dun, a boom. They just keep doing it, man. It's pretty, it's really dramatic. But anyways, this is the latest animated movie, animated series by Netflix, and I believe that there has to be some correlation with Castlevania, because some of this artworks, because some of the design on the animation just reminded me of Castlevania. So I'm not gonna go out on a limb. I'm going on a limb and say that some of the Castlevania people had to have worked on this. But anyways, this is the Blood of Zeus. Now, it's a weird anime because technically it doesn't really do anything that differently. There's a couple things they do differently, a couple different angles they take, but generally speaking, it's just like Hercules, it's just like Perseus, it's just like Clash of the Titans, because technically it's just about one of Zeus's offsprings going on a great journey and becoming a great man. Like, that's pretty much what it's about. It's, generally speaking, if you've read any of the, any stories on like Perseus or, Hercules or anyone like that, you sort of kind of know where this is going. But, generally speaking, it's still worth talking about. The story revolves around this young man named Heron. I know. Heron. And Heron is living in this crappy village with his mom. He doesn't know why, he doesn't know why everyone hates him. This village sucks. There's a cloud that's overhead that's just like the sun never shines. The guy who runs the place hates him and his mom. They think something's wrong with them. You learn he's getting his ass kicked since he was a boy and his mom's been treated terribly. He just figures this is his lot in life. This is my lot in life. Then all of a sudden, this one woman shows up in golden armor with a couple people. Like, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's like supposed to be like some Amazonian like princess kind of shit. And she's hunting down demons. Demons come to his town, and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. These demons are getting killed. He's probably not even heard demons before. He's just some local boy who just like sells ore. Like he just sells ore. He breaks ore with his hammer and brings it in and gets a couple shilling, a couple bits here and there to help try to feed himself and his mom. So yeah, that happens, and it's dramatic. And at one point he fights off he helps the Amazonian woman fight off one of the demons, and she's impressed by him. And it kind of shows you a little bit like, yeah, he has cunning and courage. Like he's a son of Zeus, so you kind of figure he's gonna have cunning and courage. And it's revealed, and later on it's revealed he's the son of Zeus, and because there's this old man who's been like kind of looking after him. Turns out he's Zeus, and it's the first time you see Zeus. Turns out the twist that they take on it is that I can't remember this off the top of my head if this is from the original, is from Greek mythology. But when Zeus beat the Titans, Zeus and his other brothers and his other siblings beat the Titans. That was it. Nothing happened. Nothing like crawled out of the Titans, because this said that the giants crawled out of the Titans' bodies once they died, and they crawled out of their bodies, and these giants, and they had another war immediately after the war they just had with the Titans. Apparently, they had another war with these giants, where these giants were killing gods and they were killing the Titans, and like basically it was a war that was going to go on until like there was barely anyone left. So Zeus convinced a couple of the giants to kill the god to help turn on the other giants, and they took out and they ended up killing the giants. But for some reason they took the bodies, they hid the bodies away, they took the souls out of the giants with this little pot thing, and they hid those in two different locations. The pot thing's guarded by fucking one of Hephaestus's giant mechanical robot, giant like centurion kind of things. So, and the bodies are hidden in a location that no one knows. And apparently, one of those bodies got washed up on shore. And when the body got washed up on shore, some guy who was just running for his life happened to find the body and eat the flesh of the body. And if you eat the flesh of the body, you turn into a demon. If you eat the flesh of a giant, you turn into a demon. And it's pretty, like, it's some hardcore shit. So that's demons, and that's kind of the backdrop of the story. And needless to say, Hera and Zeus Hera got pissed off at Zeus because he sired another fucking kid that wasn't hers, and he went off and slinging it around, and she comes up with this elaborate plan to fuck Zeus over, to somehow fuck Zeus over, to fuck the woman, because she's like, do you love me? Did you ever love me? He's like, of course I loved you. And she's like, do you love her? And he's like, yes I do. And of course she comes up with an elaborate plan to kill her, try to kill Heron, and turn all the gods on Zeus. At a certain point, all the gods returned on Zeus. It's a whole big story. Heron's in the middle of it. He has to go on this entire journey, he's seeking vengeance, or to somehow save the gods, or in the world, from the rise of the giants, because rise of the giants, it's a whole thing. Now, let me get to the good bits about this. That's the story. That's just a general story. I think the design of all the gods and stuff are pretty cool. I think some of the powers, like Zeus is like, he's like some Goku shit. Like, he's just like he's got that lightning. Like, Zeus is cool. I will say, his design and when he's in action is really cool. Poseidon is really cool too. You don't really see Hades. You only see Hades once. They mention him a couple of times, but you only see him once. But it's sort of kind of like they're teasing a sequel season. And like I said, there's a lot of things going on. I don't want to spoil everything for you, but that's generally speaking what's going on. And like I said, aesthetic looks good. It's a fun little journey as well. It's a typical journey. The main Heron picks up a couple people he likes along the way, a couple companions, couple enemies, different stories going on. Eventually, he even gets welcomed into the Pantheon. Not welcomed into the Pantheon, but he gets to meet his other brothers and sisters who were cool that they opened. They accepted him open armed. Oh man, I tell you, goddamn, how am I freaking Hermes? Hermes is cool. Hermes is the Flash. He's basically the Flash. Like, that's his power set. He is the Flash. Like, he's just going. He'll just. Those wings will come out and start flapping. He'll just go. And like the earth would just go. Like it was pretty cool. Hermes was pretty cool too. Let me think. Apollo was kind of a bitch. I gotta admit, he was just getting his ass whooped by Ares. Like, every time Apollo fought Ares, he just got his ass kicked. Even when he got the drop on Ares, which I guess they're trying to frame Ares as the combatant, like he's the god of war. He's the one who can, he's ready for a fight. And he's also the first one who's ready to jump on board when Hera's like, fuck you, Zeus. I don't like what you're doing. And he was the first one to be like, yeah. They kind of play Poseidon up to be like a middleman. Like, that's the way they play Poseidon. Like, they play it up to be like, Poseidon is the cool-headed brother. Like, he's the calm-headed brother. He's the brother who's like, wait, don't rock the boat. And, because Zeus acts like a jock. I'm not gonna lie, Zeus acts like some dude who's like, I've been winning. The vibe you get from Zeus is, I've been winning all my life. Why can't I win now? That's the vibe you get from Zeus. What you get from Poseidon is more like a. It's more like, look, let's you set rules. You say we don't do this. You say we don't do this. I'm with you, bro, but you can't, this is crazy, I will turn. Like, Poseidon's like, yeah, I kind of get, I'm, he's trying to be the reasonable one. Wow, you only see a glimpse of Hades, but Hades seems like he's a long game guy. He seems like he's I'll wait. Like, that's kind of how Hades feels. And Heron is a typical, he's a typical hero, He's got the whole anger thing going where he just wants revenge for the death of his mom. Spoiler alert, his mom dies, go figure. He wants revenge, and, he's going on this whole journey of accepting who he is and, accepting who he wasn't. And, it's a whole bunch of twists and turns. And I don't want to spoil them all for you. But generally speaking, I have to give it a 7.5. I have to give it a 7.5 for these reasons. First of all, it was very distracting. I could not get past the whole fact that they were trying their hardest. And they were trying. It wasn't like they were like, this is just the version we're telling. They were really trying to beat you over the head with, Odin is not a rapist. Odin is just a man who, he loves humanity so much he wants to give. He falls in love and he's just a helpless romantic. That's basically the way they try to frame Odin. Is like, he's not a rapist, he's a helpless romantic. He's someone who just sees, he sees a beautiful woman and he falls in love and he wants to be with them. And he can't always be with them. Like, that's the way they frame it. Is like, oh, he's a helpless romantic. That's what he is. He's not a murderer. He's just a helpless romantic. And I did not like the way they kept trying to beat you over the head with that, because if you ever picked up anything in Greek mythology, you know that's not true. He pretends to be someone's husband, sleeps with them, impregnates them, and then leave them to deal with it. And that's basically what happened here. Except he didn't leave her to deal with it. Granted, he just stranded her in the middle of nowhere and just said, well, I'll be back when I can. And it's just kind of one of those things where, like, these people didn't ask for this. These women didn't ask for this. And you just, like, changed their lives and maybe ruined it for a certain degree. Because, you know, because of you, her and her son had to grow up in, you know, shitty conditions basically his entire life. But, you know, like, and like that, just didn't like the way they were framing that. And there's a lot of logical things that don't make a lick of sense. Like, remember how I told you about how the gods were battling with the giants, and they were all killing each other on both sides? And the whole premise of the show is we have to stop, you know, Hera, or, you know, the villain, the main villain who you can go watch it to see who he is, from awakening the giants and finding the bodies and finding the casket and reuniting them, and then the giants arise, and then the giants are raised up, and we'll have to battle them all over again, and it might threaten everyone. And then the ringing question in the back of my mind was, wait a minute. I watched the video of you guys killing giants. You guys can kill giants. You guys can kill giants. And that's with them alive with their souls attached. So why the hell would you not just destroy the bodies? Why wouldn't you destroy the bodies? And why wouldn't it, like, in a show that fire, and literally, because by the way, the premise of it is Heron and his companions have to get to those bodies and burn them, because fire can burn their flesh. Which leads me to the degree of, well, why the fuck didn't you guys just destroy these bodies and we wouldn't even have to worry about this? Like, why would you guys keep the bodies around and know that, and be like, well, we can keep those bodies around. Let's just hope that this thing that we have hitting over here doesn't get back to them. You know, that's so stupid. That's like keeping, like, that's like having like a fucking flashlight and a bomb, it's like fucking nuke. That's like being in a freaking place with a nuke and you got a gun and you're just like, okay, well, don't shoot it over here. Like, I can't come up with a good analogy right now, but it's just so stupid because I'm just like, you could just erase this whole equation by by destroying the bodies. This doesn't even have to be a conversation. Because, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I get the soul bit. Maybe, you know, the souls go out and you know, but they don't even, but they killed other giants and their souls didn't go anywhere. They just died. So it's so confusing. The logic with that is confusing. And the Zeus stuff is just, you know, annoying. And like I said, and generally speaking, Heron as a character is not that complex. He's pretty straightforward. You kind of almost see beat for beat what's going to happen, except for one thing that happens. But I don't know if that's going to stick though. It's near the end. I don't know if that's going to stick. It was really cool seeing the gods battle, though, you know. Seeing the gods die, dude. They died, like, man, like, these guys got fucked. Some of those guys got fucked. I'm like, I don't know what you the god of, but you ain't the god of it anymore. But, yeah, like, I don't know why they didn't just destroy the bodies. It was stupid. Didn't make a lick of sense to me. I think Hephaestus was cool, though. I love the idea of him being this man who just made all these mechanical things. He's got that little mechanical bird and whatnot. But, you know, it is what it is. I give Blood of Zeus a 7.5. I think that the animation was cool. I think some of the action was cool. Although I didn't think Heron was that, you know, compelling. Like, okay, compelling's wrong. That unique. I did enjoy him. I did enjoy the journey. It was fun playing with the Greek Pantheon again. It's funny enough, it's been a while since I've seen something in the Greek Pantheon, so it's kind of like was cool. I like the fight design. I love some of the design of the outfits, and the animation was pretty good. But like I said, there are some things that hold it back from being really good. Like Castlevania good. Like Castlevania is another stratosphere. But this is okay. I give it a 7.5. Thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.